Hey everybody, and welcome to the Harrison County Library System's online computer classes. My name's Jeff Conwell, and I work up here at the Orange Grove Public Library. If you ever have any questions, please come up and ask, or you can drop me a line at g.conwell@harrison.lib.ms.us or librarydude1999@gmail.com. Well, this class is the second part of our PowerPoint workshop class, and we're going to learn about using PowerPoint 365. What is PowerPoint 365? It's part of the Microsoft Office Suite subscription-based service that gives a single user full access to every Office application, including PowerPoint. There are many similarities between PowerPoint 365 and the traditional version of PowerPoint with which you may be familiar. Hopefully you learned some good stuff in the last class, so that the overall experience should feel very familiar to people who've used it before. One special advantage for people is access to SharePoint Online. Remember I was saying before, you can't directly share when you're using the downloaded version, at least on a library computer, but with Office 365 being online, you're very able to do that very thing. Anyway, the service is included in some versions of 365 that allows you to share and collaborate with other people, whether they are colleagues or customers. This is your basic PowerPoint 365 environment. Notice it looks very similar. One of the things that you notice that might be different is that the ribbon, remember the ribbon is that chunk that's below the tabs, is a lot smaller. It's just like one line all the way across. And you've got your, there's the ribbon. You've got your document title, you've got your Office apps. When you click on these apps right here, you can go back and forth between Excel, PowerPoint, and Word with no problem at all. It's automatically saved when you save it. You can search in the document for whatever you're looking for. And we'll go over the tabs and what's in the tabs below. The tabs going from left to right, you got File, Home, Insert, Draw, Design, Transitions, Animations, Slideshow, Review, View, and Help. And there's some others over here that we'll look at too that aren't in the regular Office, the desktop version. You've got your keyboard shortcuts. Remember these? They'll come in really in handy because you can't directly copy and paste everything like you did before. You got to really know those keys. And again, they don't have it listed, but my favorite key, Control and Z. It still works when you use that to undo what you just did. Here's some more editing. It's Control Z is right there where it says undo. And you've got the formatting keys, the slideshow delivery, and all that. This is the backstage view. Remember the backstage view is where you go to open up a new document, to make a new document, open up a document that you've already made, to save it as a name. It's going to be automatically saved. And I said before it comes up as PowerPoint, but the name of the document, if it's not titled, will just say presentation. So if you don't name it and then you save it, and then you get another one and save it, it'll say presentation 2. Okay? But we're also in the backstage view where you can print it, you can share it, and you learn more about it. This is the Home tab. Notice it's very similar. It's going to have the cut, copy, and paste is right there. That's the undo and all of that. And you got your new slide where you just want to make a new slide. You click there, and then you can look at the different things right there with the formatting and such. That's what the formatting is over there. You got your text over here that you can input. These 3 little dots indicate that there's more stuff there. And you got your bullet points and all this and justifications. Now it goes off further off the screen, but we'll look at a live version of this, so don't worry too much about how it's set up. I just want you to get an overview of what it looks like, okay? This is the Insert tab, and when you look at it, you've got where you can put in a new slide right there, use slides. If you got others that you want to do again, you can insert a table, pictures, shapes, icons, smart art. That's like flow charts and stuff like that. You can even put a hyperlink, a text box, footer, new comment, and it goes on and on. And then you got your Draw tab, which they didn't have with the PowerPoint that we saw before, where you can like make shapes, you can draw with your finger, you can make just all kinds of stuff, erase stuff out of it. It's kind of cool thing you can do. You got your design. Remember, your designs are like templates set up and looking a certain way with certain colors. And I don't know that you can actually, they have a designer tool right here where you can make your own. You got your slide size so that you can format it. Remember I said before, if you change the orientation, not so much the size, but the orientation to be, instead of landscape, remember landscape is the long side up. Instead, if you have the short side up, think of like you're holding your phone in your hand and you want somebody to see your presentation. Well, it would look really good if you have it as that same size as your phone. So you can change the slide size to be how you want it. And then you've got your transitions. Remember, you can make the slides, instead of just clicking and making a new image, you can actually make a little transition in there that looks really cool. It entertains your listeners and all of that. We'll look at some of that too when we do a live version of this in a second. The animations, okay, and that's where you have where objects that are in your slides, like my plane in the last slide, stuff can slide in, fly in, twirl about, do all kind of stuff. And then you've got your slideshow where you can rehearse your slideshow. You can, with the coach actually, you can present it live, you can present it in Teams, and you have from the current slide that you're on or just from the beginning. Remember, rehearsal is everything when you're doing a presentation. It really does help you when you go over stuff. Like when I do these classes, I have to do them over and over again because I'm not perfect. I'm always making mistakes. So you might see a little blur, a bump in the filming of it, but that's me cutting and using another part of the presentation that I need to redo. So anyway, you have to imagine if you're up in front of a bunch of people, you don't really have a chance for a do-over. So you want to get it right from the beginning. So I would highly recommend rehearsing with the coach if you can. Then you got your review for you can check your spelling and your slide and show changes, make comments. When you work in teams, you want to be able to see comments maybe that people make. And there's another little thing on the side, on the front, we'll look at it at the end of this part of the presentation, where you can see where you can actually make comments if you're part of a team. And then you got your view, where remember you got your notes view, where you can see your notes, your slide sorter, and then you got your normal view, which is the side here where you've got your task, or your viewer right here, where you can see the individual slides. It's going to make a big long vertical line here, and then your normal view is going to have just the whole slide that you're on be able to view it that way. But your slide sorter, if you want to move one slide easily from one position to another, you use that slide sorter to do that. And then they have this thing called an immersive reader, the zoom and fit to window. So that's all in your view. And then, of course, if you want help, you can get help. So all you have to do is click the help button, and a little thing will come up, and you just type your question in. Or you can contact support directly. You can give them feedback about what you're thinking. Well, why is it this way? Why can't it be this way? You might give Microsoft ways to improve them. They're always asking for ways to improve themselves. And then you can see what's new in PowerPoint by clicking that right there. The editing, this is going off on the side here. When you click editing, you can make any changes. The viewing right there, you can view the file, but you don't want to make any changes. You can do that just with clicking. And then you can open it up in a desktop app if you have PowerPoint loaded on your computer. And then this is the share that we're going off onto the side, like I said. The share link, when you want to share it with a person, somebody in your team and your company, you can, and anyone with the link can edit the presentation. So you just type in the name, if they're in a group thing, or whatever, you can just put their email in and leave a short message and then just click send. and they'll get the link and they'll be able to open it up and make changes or comments or whatever. Speaking of which, when you do comments, you just click on the comments bar, this button right here, and this will come up. You can add a new comment just clicking on that, and you'll see the listing on the side. Like if they send it back to you with the comments, you can read what they say and then make changes accordingly. And then finally, we're going to have present. And this is where you're going to rehearse it, but you can present it in teams, you can play it from beginning, rehearse with the coach, and present it live. So however you want to do it. And finally, we're getting down to the bottom of the page. You're going to have your, oops, that's in the way here. I don't know if it's going to go away, but that's where your status bar is. See, it says slide 1 of 1 because it only got one slide in there. And then you're going to have, on the other side of it, is where you got your Help Improve Office. When you click on that, give them feedback. You got your notes view, your view that you use, the normal view that you use when you're working on it, your sorter view, and then your presenter view. And over here, you've got your zoom, where you can look at it full screen, or you can zoom it according to whatever size you want. So you can get up and close and personal with your presentation. Okay? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to open up Office 365 on my work Office 365 account, and I'm going to do a presentation like I did last time. Okay? So stay tuned. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my work Office 365 account, and I have it bookmarked on my bookmarks bar here in Google. So I sign into my account. And then the Office comes up with, these are your apps up here in the top right left-hand corner. And then if I click on that, you can see it probably clearer. I'm going to go to PowerPoint. And it gives me files that I've saved. It gives me recommended ones, and then a blank presentation. I'm going to choose blank presentation. Okay? And this is the normal view. Okay? You got your task pane here and everything. This starts out with the title page, and you can change the format by clicking this box here on the layout. And it gives you choices on what to choose from. If you remember from last time, it also gives me designer like suggestions. I usually turn this guy off, but whenever you add a new picture, it will give you a suggestion to use that. But I'm gonna leave it on for a little bit, even though I normally don't use it, just to see what it does. Now, like I said before, it helps a lot if you, before you even begin to build your presentation, if you have a digital form, especially a digital form of your notes, like I went into Word and made like some notes for this presentation, it's going to be about extinction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my file on the extinction so I can grab my notes, and it's up here. Let's see. Extension presentation, and let's see. Always looking for my notes. Now these are pictures that I want to use. Okay, that's a lot of pictures, and the file name I'm going by. It's probably at the bottom here. Always have to look for where my stuff. Extension presentation notes. Okay, excellent. I open it up. Now I could do an online version of Word and just go back and forth, which would probably have been easier than opening it up. But I'm going to show you how you can do both. Waiting for that to open up. Now I'm going to go ahead and use this the way exactly formatted. I'm going to copy that And when I come up to my presentation and I click here, I hit paste, it might not do it, but it did. Now, it didn't format it, like if I hit, it doesn't give me the option to format it like you know, how it did before. It gives you the option to format it according to the way it's done that you originally copied it from. So I'm going to have to tweak this a little bit, but I'm just going to get it all built up first because everything else is like, you know, decorations on a cake. That always comes last. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new slide and then go back to my notes and see, ask my question. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come back. And on this, I'm going to, because this font is normally set so big, I'm going to go ahead and use that. I'm going to drag this down. Okay, you see that line that came up? That indicates, those are your guides to show you that it's centered in the middle of the page. Now when I come down to the middle of the lower part of the page, I got a line there. And then I got a line right there. That's about where you kind of want it. Now I'm going to hit paste again. And I'm going to center that by clicking the justification and put it in the middle. Okay, that's my next slide. So then I make another, just clicking new slide here. And I'm going to put in a graph that I made. And the way I did it was really interesting. I went to Excel online and I took some data that I found. And sorry, I'm not quoting from where I got it from. But it's the species threatened with extinction. And what I did, and we'll learn in a couple weeks how to do this with Excel, I made a chart of species threatened with extinction here. And I'm going to just, all I'm going to do, it's like a whole piece of art there. I'm just going to copy on the object, hit home, hit copy. And now I'm going to go to my PowerPoint. Oops. And I'm going to paste it in there. And now I can actually take these items out, or I could go back and on the layout of the page, just make it blank. So I don't have to hit delete all the time. Now to get this, notice it's, when I shrink it down, I don't know that it's going to make the ratio of it, if they have a lock ratio on it, because I really, quite honestly, haven't had as much experience with this as I've had with the regular downloaded version of it. But I'm going to just stretch it out, make it the full size of the slide almost, so you can read everything. So I've got that. This is what it's looking like. I'm going to take that out. And now I've got this right here with a bar graph. And then I want to put in some pictures. And I might put the pictures in after this slide. So what I'm going to do is hit new slide there. And then I'm going to take the pictures and insert them as different objects. So I'm going to make it blank again. And I'm going to say insert pictures. And I'm going to put, let's see, it's in on my USB. So I'm going to hit this device. I'm inserting a picture from this device. And I'm going back to that extension presentation with all my things. Now I have to look for frog. So, okay. I'm going to put the frog in. And notice it gives me design, like I could change that to be the size. Now this is pretty cool actually, that big. But I want to drop them down into the thing. I don't know, I might just leave it. I even like that. I might use that as my cover. How would I do that? As my title page. I'm going to go ahead and take this text and copy it. And I'm going to, because I won't be able to see it, I'm going to go ahead and make it white right now by clicking on that A with an underline on it, the red. I'm going to turn it to white. You won't be able to see it, but now I'm going to copy that and I'll paste it over the froggy. It didn't do it like I wanted to. Okay, well, it didn't give me the option to do it the same way I had. So let me go ahead and make it white now. And I'm going to make it bigger and center it. And then make the font size bigger by highlighting everything and clicking the big A. So that looks pretty cool. Now to move it, and I could go to slide sorter, but because I only got 4 slides going, if I left click and I can push this slide to the one previous to that. So I can take that out, the title page as I had it before. And then I'm going to take the picture of the frog again, and I want to do what I was originally intending to do before I got ahead of myself. Sometimes when you create something, you have to strike while the idea comes to you before you forget it. So what I want to do is I want to insert all the pictures of these animals and plants that are listed here. Okay? So what I'm going to do is make a new slide after my question, what is the current level of extensions? Hit new slide, and then I'm going to make it a blank canvas here. I'm going to insert picture and this device. I'm going to look at the slides because I know what they are. Okay, and then get my froggy in there. Actually, I want to use the great specific salamander because he's also an amphibian, and those are the ones most threatened. Okay, put him in here. Insert another picture. I believe the next one was conifers. Those are the next most threatened. So I'm going to take the conifer tree and there's a conifer. I'm going to put that one in there. I'm going to arrange them differently, but I'm going to look at, I just want to insert the pictures right now. The next one on the list is the reef corals. So I'll go here, insert picture from this device, and do reef corals. Where's the reef corals? There you go. Okay, putting that one there. Notice when I move my line, it's giving me guides on what's lined up with what. So if I do this and come down to the line where the conifer is, it shows me that it's all there. Now look at this. You got a design where you can do that, like that. That looks cool, but I'm not going to use it. Although I would like to. I'm hitting my magic button, Control and Z to undo. If it doesn't do it, it did do it, okay. Now I'm going to insert the next pictures, which are on the list, which are sharks and rays. I got both sharks and rays. Kind of like both of them. I'm going to go ahead and insert this device, and then say, let's do, my goodness, I like just a regular ray. Oh, wrong slide. Now, because I was on this slide, I didn't know how I got off of that, but apparently I did. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that picture and I'm going to paste it to this picture. So now I got the ray there. Now I'm going to insert the shark, the whale shark. It's an awesome animal. It is really big and not only feeds on little tiny krill and stuff like that, little small fish. Okay? And I might even make them bigger. I click, make it bigger, I just click on the handles and move it away. Now I could also click on that. I think if I go to editing, I may not let me do it. Okay. So anyway, just click on the handles and drag it out to get to the size that you want. Okay, the next one on the list is mammals, and I picked a particular mammal out. So I'm going back here and hit insert and picture this device, and then let's do the mammal that I was talking about was the, goodness. Oh, the rhinos, of course. How could I forget a rhino? And then, anyway, all these kind of pictures. I mean, it could be blank or it could be, I could leave it just like that, but it was really boring. I don't think I would have ever come up with all of these pictures on my own. I'm going to maybe use the designer to design this page that I'm working on. Insert the last animal that we have is the birds. Even the bird, they even have insects, but that's going to be an addendum to the presentation. And well, there's my list right there of the insects, insect extinctions. This is called a kakapo. It's a bird in New Zealand. So let me look at the presentation the way it's given me. Okay, it gives me an option down here to search for pictures too. But I want one with everything on it. I may just use this template right here. So this is, I wanted each object to fly in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the image and I'm going to hit animations. I'm going to hit, because I'm talking about the amphibians first. All right, let's go ahead and say birds first. Well, anyway, whatever order I want to put them in. Let's go by highest to lowest, and the highest is the frogs, so, or the reptiles. So he is going to be first. So I'm going to say fly in. That's number one. Notice the little number one comes up. So that's the first item. And then I've got, okay, after mammals, sharks and rays. Sharks and rays. So let me get the shark. And do another, I could either fly it in. I don't want to be too really fancy with it. I'm just going to fly that one in. So that one's two. That one's going to fly in. And then the next one on down is the conifers. I think. It's actually birds. So I'm going to get the little kakapo, which is a bird. I already did get kakapo. 1, 2, oh, I meant to do this one as 3. If I click on the number, let's do fly in for this one. And that's seen a number on it. Oh, that 3 is for that. Okay, this one's going to be 4. I see what it is. It's the number order, it's on the left-hand side of the picture. That can mess you up when you're left-handed. Okay? And then after the sharks and rays, it goes amphibians, sharks and rays, birds, conifers. Let me do the conifers. Although, according to this thing, conifers, well, birds is, I gotta go back to my notes here. Birds are 14%. Now, I don't know why it read it as that, but I'm wondering if on my Excel spreadsheet, oh, no wonder. I did 34%, and I think it's 14%. And when I do that, this database should change. Ah, there we go. Okay, so now that's right. Okay, now I know. Okay, go back. You always want to give good data out. So now I got to go back and change my my chart that I made to put it in the presentation. So I'm taking that one out that I put in there. Oops. And go back to my, I'm going to hit delete, get rid of it, hit paste, and put the new data in. So that means my word is actually going to come last. So I'm not going to, okay, cool. Okay, now I've got, so the bird is, let's see, I don't have the transitions. Okay, salamander, going to be flying, animations. Okay, this one is going to be last. So I'm going to change the order if I can. It won't let me do it. I'm going to say none right now. So the order goes sharks, amphibians, then conifers, then sharks and rays. So he should be third. Let me take this one out. Okay, sharks and rays. So, and then I'm going to put in the reefs and coral. Oh, let's see, reefs and corals. That's the second one. I mean the third one. Yeah, reef corals. That's the third one. So I'll go back in there and I'm going to put this one. Oops. Control and Z, go back, fly in, and then I'm going to put the mammals. We're going to come in, and then we're going to have the birdie come in last. I might even make him fly. See, I can go and do all these things like spin, grow, shrink. I can make it fade, crossbars, white, blinds, fly out. Okay, he's going to be flying. So let me look at what I got so far. And the way I do that, again, is I go to slideshow and from the beginning, or I can hit the presenter view, but that's going to start from whatever slide I'm at. But if I go to the slideshow tab, I can hit it from the beginning. And then I just click on that, wait for it to go. Extension today, looks good. And then I go to the next slide. Okay. It's not responding. I don't know why. Okay. Let me hit presenter view and see if that does anything. Something's up in Denmark. Okay, extensions a day. Second. Well, okay, this takes its time. It might be the internet connection too. They're not doing it right. Okay, there they go. They're all flying in. So anyway, that works. That works good enough for me. So now the next slide is that, and I'm going to make a new slide. Insert. Well, I can say new slide. I could also go up top here and put new slide in. Well, I thought anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to the information about what causes extinctions. And I made another chart with what are the main causes. I'm going to make that. And that's going to be my next slide. So I want to put it, it's kind of like as a title like I did before. So I might even right click and duplicate this slide because it's formatted like I want. Then I click on this slide, drag it down, and now I'm just going to paste over the words that I put in for the other one. Paste. What are the main causes? And then we're going to make a list, like a bulleted list, and go back to my notes. And I'm going to give the, let's say exploitation, copy, and I'm going to make a picture of an exploited forest. I'm going to hit, let's see, paste. Now, I have not, let's see, duplicate. I'm just going to paste that over to make it the same. Exploitation. And then I can actually make a picture being in front like I did with the frog at the beginning. I'm going to make all this to be, it's not going to do the caps like if you want before, unless it does, I'm sorry. Change case, make it all uppercase, and make it bold, and then I'm going to put in a picture behind it. So I'm going to say insert picture, this device, and the deforestation, let's see, there's a big chunk of, that's loss of habitat. Okay, thought I made a picture of, okay, there you go. Now this picture, when you search for pictures on the net, you really want to get a large size picture already done. Now I'm going to arrange this by making it and send it to the back, and I'm going to make this text here white. Oop. Exploitation. And then I'm going to get my next thing, and instead of exploitation, I could actually format this exact same thing, duplicate slide, and then I'm going to change the word out and then the picture. So the next thing on the list is habitat loss. And let me get in there, and I'm going to put paste, loss of habitat. Now it didn't do it again, but let's see what happens when I change the picture if it stands out. I'm going to say change picture from this device. And my little koala friend there in the middle of the burnt forest looking all lonely. Okay, that you can't read, so I'm going to make it where it is white again. White, whatever stands out. And then I'm going to change the case to be capitalized by going to those three little dots, change case to uppercase. And I'm going to make it bold. Now I got that one. And then I've got, notice I've got these really, that actually looks really good. I may just leave it like that. If you find something that you like, just go for it. Whatever looks really good. And that, to me, is pretty poignant. So I'm just going to leave that. Okay, the next slide is going to be for the next reason why they're becoming extinct is, let's see, let's do invasive climate change. And I'm going to put that in my next slide. I'm still going to use this until I find another alternative because it's formatted with the words, but I don't think it's going to allow me to, it's going to be small again. Yeah, gotta do it again. Or you get practice with stuff when you do it enough. That's the only way that you learn how to do that. I'm changing the case to uppercase and making it bold. And then I'm going to get my picture for climate change. I can just right click on the picture, change picture from the device. And I want to show you too, if I right click it, if I have the file saved in OneDrive, which is the, remember it's the virtual storage device that you use for Google Chrome, for Microsoft Office, or it gives you the option to choose from stock images or from Bing or icons, whatever. So I'm going to do that. And then I've got the, let's see, change picture. Let's do from this device, climate change. I'm just going to use the pollution one from the fossil fuels. Okay. So that, I wonder what that one looks like. Oh, okay. That looks good. Climate change. And then I'm going to put in the next one, which is invasive species. Copy that. And then I'm going to put in I'm going to use the same slide as I did for this one. Just change the word out to the next. Make it white again. And then capitalize it, all uppercase. Change the picture to the water hyacinths. Or you can do Congon grass. I'm going to do the water hyacinths because those are really a nuisance. They're pretty, but they sure get everywhere. Okay. And then you've got, let's see, what's the next one? Pollution. I'm just going to use the picture that I have of all the plastic that's in the sea. You got whole islands made of plastic now. So let me duplicate slide, change the pollution, capitalize, and bold, and then change the picture to one of the Great Pacific Plastic, they call it something, I forget. Now that one isn't too clear because it's small. I might even, that kind of looks, well that's, what is this one? Okay, that looks good. I like that. I'm going to use it. Okay, and then I'm going to go, the last one on the list is disease. A good picture of Dutch elm disease here. So I'm going to use that picture. Go back. And let's go ahead and use duplicate slide, drag this one down, and then paste. And you know the drill. Change the font color out. Uniformity is a good thing when you want to capture somebody's attention, though. You want to change it up, but the uniformity, it looks very professional when you can make sort of things look a little bit similar to each other. They flow together better. If you got two individual, and it can be jarring. Okay, change picture from this device, and let's see, Dutch elm disease. Might even put two pictures in there. Let's see. Now I don't know why I didn't do the whole picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually change the format of this picture where it's going to be two pictures together. Let's do I might do this one from scratch. I'm just going to say, instead of that, I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to change the format to two pictures, just like that, and change the text to be black. And then I'm going to put in one picture. Let's see, that picture should be a picture. And this is going to be an up close of Dutch elm disease, and this one's going to be a picture of the tree with the Dutch elm disease. And then I haven't done invasive species yet, so I'm going to do that. Let's see, Dutch elm disease, where's that tree? Okay, here we go. I might, oh, I like that one. Okay. And then it looks pretty good. Now, okay, let me get the invasive species. Oh, I could put everything in there, but I think we're kind of running out of time right now, but you get a good feeling for what I'm doing. I'm going to just end this by making the transitions from one slide to the other. So if we've got the animations in there, I'm going to put in some transitions. And I don't know how well it's going to work because of the smartboard that we're using for the presentation. But I'm going to go and then put in some transitions for all of these. So if I say, I can do box. I like box because it rotates around. Then I can say apply to all if I want to. So when I do that, I click on that, and the little dot indicated here on the left-hand side of each slide indicates what each transition is there. So when I go to the viewer, I'm going to go to slideshow from the beginning, Okay, I'm hitting the next arrow for letting the slides progress. Now, like I say, it may take a minute. I could also make a timer thing for it when I go to slideshow, and I could, let's do slideshow, present live, anyone. It doesn't give me a chance to put in the timer for it so where it can rotate, which is a bummer, because if you want somebody to look at a slideshow that's repeating, it's like looking at a little movie. It can be pretty cool. But anyway, I want to see at least what the transitions looks like before we go. These, the way the animations go, it's the script that makes it not go so. Okay, there you go. Now I don't know why the writing didn't show up that. But just play with it, and then, like I said, if you get stuck with anything, give me a holler, okay? Remember, my name is Jeff Conwell, and you can write me at g.conwell@harrison.lib.ms.us or librarydude1999@gmail.com. Thank you for watching this presentation, and we'll see you next time.